Welcome to the CX Goalkeeper podcast, where we unlock the winning edge through conversations with industry experts and thought leaders. Each episode explores how transforming business through human experience creates real impact. Join us for actionable insights and fresh perspectives that inspire success. Follow, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. The next episode could spark your next big idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CX Goalkeeper podcast. Super thrilled today to discuss about digital transformation in the insurance space together with Rajesh Sankaran. Hi, Rajesh, how are you?
Good, how are you, Greg?
Very well. Super keen to kick off this discussion. And as usual, before we deep dive in transforming digital insurance with CX, let's learn more about you, today's top player, Rajesh. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Rajesh. I've been in the insurance industry for a while, on and off, as a consultant, as an employee. Been in the current role for a little over 3 years. Spent 25 plus years in the consulting space, most of which was in the insurance space. Now, currently, I'm in the non-standard auto insurance space. Looking forward to talk more about transformations that are occurring.
Thank you. But before we discuss about transformation, I still have one question to learn more about you. Mm-hmm. Which values drive your professional life?
I think I want to talk about two things, right? One is keep it super simple. I don't like overthinking anything. Just try it, do it, fail, learn from it. So keep it super simple and keep going. The other thing is consistency, right? Consistently, if you do certain things, it becomes a habit, and then that drives future forward versus trying something one way the other way. So I'm always doing things the same way. It may not be the best way for everybody, but it works.
But I think it totally makes sense. And if we're speaking about transformation, then simplification, making things simple, also helps a lot. And therefore, let's kick off this game, transforming the digital insurance space with customer experience. Mm-hmm. How is CX reshaping the digital insurance industry?
So the CX, right, from insurance. So let me step back for 1 second and talk about the insurance industry for 30 seconds. So insurance industry widely has been considered boring, not the best, sexiest industry. And it's like, it has this bad vibe that has been given to it over the course of years, right? Even the strongest, biggest players have now needed to evolve themselves out of that bad stamp everybody has. But currently, the CX in the digital industry is not really particularly driven by the digital industry, it's insurance industry itself. But a customer that is a insurance buyer also is a customer of Netflix and Starbucks and Walmarts and Alibabas, right? So and Amazon. So they're used to a certain level of interaction with these customers. And if you go finish listening to a podcast or watching a show on Netflix, and then you go to buy insurance, that same thought process translates into the expectation. That's where the industry has gotten to. And if the customer experience is not up to par, the choices are there. So customers can click out of one app or go out of one tab, go to another tab, literally find another one that they feel like, I like this experience more, and buy. It's the convenience of operating and learning, doing something, versus traditionally what used to be is I'm going to buy the cheapest insurance. I'm going to buy the same insurance my dad bought from, or I'm going to walk into my agent who has had the office there for 30 years. It's still there. There's a percentage of the market, but the insurance experience needs driven by the Netflixes and the Amazons is taking over.
What you're saying, I can really understand that. I'm working in a hospital, and we have exactly the same questions as you are stating. I was in this specific hotel chain. Why is not possible to lock my door? And we say, you are in the hospital, and therefore it's not exactly the same experience. And also from the onboarding, or when patients are coming into the hospital, most of them expect a fully digital onboarding. It means they come there, they push quick something and then they go through. And most of the time they need also to wait for the physicians, and that's something they are not really liking. You
Yeah.
are sharing one of the challenges that you are having in the insurance industry. What are other challenges that you are having in delivering this experience to your customer?
The biggest challenge, so for us, our challenges are slightly different, right? I work currently for an agency, but the agency challenges and the carrier challenges are slightly different. I'll talk about both. For us, distribution across all channels is the challenge. It's a conversion, it's a change of our market. And like I said earlier, I work in the non-standard space. So we've had 250 stores for our company, lots of foot traffic, lots of walk-in customers. Now that mix is changing towards more digital customer, less walk-in customer, more phone-in customer. So we have to adapt to that, the digital experience that we provide, and have blend that line between physical and digital. I'm sure you've heard the term phygital everywhere now. That was not a thing 3 5 years ago, right? Some of these things had already started the acceleration path pre-COVID, and COVID just took it to a whole new level. Distribution is one definite challenge that we've seen, that we have to get over across the board and make sure that we are able to reach the customer where they want to be reached. To your example of, hey, how can I not lock my room with my phone? Same thing. I'm sitting in a parking lot waiting for picking up my kid. I'm going to try to buy my insurance, pay my bill, do whatever I want to do on my phone. We have to have that. But the other challenge also with the carriers is, hey, why are we not offering something? Why are we not doing something? In the past, everybody could get away with saying, oh, underwriting will not allow that. Even underwriters now have become very slick, very smart. So if there is capacity and willingness to deliver, you can deliver. I don't think underwriters can be called out as, oh, it takes a long time for us to build a product. It takes this. I was listening to another podcast, and one of the guys said, your underwriting is one thing, but the being ready with IT, being ready with the operational efficiencies, being ready with rollout, that can all happen in parallel or in advance. You don't have to depend on the underwriters to deliver some changes. So I think the challenges are real, but I think the world is at a place where you got to go fast or you'll be left behind.
Yes, and then going fast is extremely important. We know how AI is also developing, and we know that customer expectations are increasing dramatically, as you said, Netflix and all these different opportunities that are out there. Which strategies have proven to be the most effective for personalizing solution insurances and so on for the customer in a digital way?
Yeah, I think we've tried a lot of different things. We've had different ways of approaching the same problem with the customer, right? The biggest thing that I think I will say as a takeaway is, customers think like a customer, right? Customers don't come looking for, hey, are you a business? Are you a B2B provider, B2C providers? They engage in businesses that treat them as humans, right? Human to human interaction is what customer is looking for, regardless of whether they call you on the phone, go to your website, chat with you, knowing that they're chatting with AI bot versus chatting with a human being, or talking on the phone or walking into a store. The willingness of customer to continue to engage with you is if they feel like they're treated like a human, right? One-on-one, customers pay for their experience. They don't pay for a product or a service. They keep that in mind, that the second interaction that they have, if it's the same as the first interaction, it's the interaction they remember most of the time than what they bought or how much they paid for. So they buy with their emotion. They buy, justification of that is the emotion, not your wallet in certain cases. So their customers are looking for emotional value. If we're able to strike that closely enough, I think we have a winner. And the other part of it is the logically, reasonably best price, best product, compare everything. It's all out there. Everybody can do that. And customers don't care if you're the biggest customer producer out there, if you're the State Farm or the Allstate or a Progressive, or you're one of the tiniest mom and pop shop. But it's the experience that they walk away from that says, I really enjoyed this interaction. I'm going to continue to stick with them. And I tell my teams, if the customer buys from us once, does not mean that they're a great loyal customer. When they have repeat interactions with you, that's when you have the ability to actually showcase that, oh yeah, they are loyal, they understand who we understand who they are, and we have connected with them at an emotional level.
That's really cool. You mentioned this word emotional value, and as you explained that, it makes really sense. Perhaps also to understand the industry and the changes, is the customer stickiness, are customer really staying with insurances or not? Why I'm asking this question, because I'm living in Switzerland and now we are in a phase that we can change our health insurance. As you said, we have all the opportunities now to compare between the different, among the different insurances. And most of the people says, if I can save, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 dollars a month for my health insurance, and perhaps we are a family of 3, 4, 5 people, then it has a big impact on our budget. What's your learnings there, or what's your view?
The ability, the availability of choices is crazy now. So you can, and customers, the stickiness has reduced definitely. All the people that have used to stay 8, 10, 5 years with a particular carrier has reduced. There are all these new insurtech driven carriers that are able to pivot quickly and be much more competitive than other times. So I really do think the average retention or stickiness lifetime value of a customer is shrinking from a company perspective, and the choices that the consumers have has enabled them to switch back and forth. So I think the amount of time a particular customer stays with a given insurance, I truly believe has reduced. Even in our industry, in my space, in the non-standard space, we are seeing that it's reducing. It's tough to keep people on your books for a lot longer. It's becoming more challenging.
It makes sense. And back to what you mentioned at the beginning, also the simplicity. I think now your competitors or the competitors are only one or few clicks away, and not lot of papers work and signatures, physical signatures, and so on. And therefore, it's really easier. And there, my question is, how can insurers balance technology-driven efficiency with the human touch? Because at the end, if I have a problem, I want to call somebody and not a bot and get the solution to my issue.
Yep. I go back to the previous statement first, right? The emotional connection. Think relationships first. Relationship capital is going to help you grow your business. And I say that because if in the interaction that you have, mostly everything is technology, people are on an app, people are on a website filling out data. But for me, one of the two things that we do quite that I'm proud of is we have a pretty strong personalization on the website. So if you're coming back or doing certain things, we understand it. And if you're going through a journey to buy your insurance, we know when to take you out of the journey. So if you're struggling to do something, we give you a pop-up chat, we offer you a phone number to click and call. There are things that we have triggers of that allows you to be taken out of a channel of interaction and continue seamlessly in another channel which is assisted for you, so you don't have to struggle to do what you need to do, right? So it's not cash or credit, it's the transaction that you need to personalize and remove that. The interaction should be personalized. Again, I go back, I keep repeating, the emotional value that the customer is seeing in that is going to be super useful. So technology is there to help, but the customer interaction, how do you move them from one part of the flow to another and have that channel less interaction? And what is that true customer experience value in the process of the technology driven solution is the balance everybody has to strike. If you don't think like that, I think you're not going to survive in this space too long.
And now that you're an expert in this field, perhaps do you have some suggestions or some best practice that you want to share how to keep this balance between human and technology supporting the customer throughout their journey, but also supporting employees, serving customer?
Yeah, I think two things come to my mind. I'm always a proponent of Chewy's. I don't know if you've heard of Chewy's. They're a pet industry, not quite in the same industry. But also, if you look at Progressive, right? The CEO of Progressive, I heard in another podcast, someone somewhere said, Trisha Griffith, right? She said, invest in things you can't measure and scale, right? The relationships, the value customers perceive from you. How do you have that value that you present to your customers? That's the core of what you think we need to invest in. The other thing is in this world, even though ROI isn't clear, I don't think anybody has ever put their finger on saying, hey, this is my customer experience and this is the ROI. I've never heard anybody being able to absolutely say that. But even Progressive believes they are the biggest in the space right now. They're doing some amazing stuff with customer experience. If you're ready to prioritize customer experience, even when ROI is not clear, that is the important factor. What we particularly are doing is, so one of the things that our company does, like I said, in the non-standard space, we work also with the population which is not the most, which doesn't have access to a lot of the technology and doesn't have access to some of these, even though there are some potential carriers that may not have the capacity or the willingness to perform certain capabilities. What we're doing is, with the experience that we're trying to provide, we are giving these customers channelless digital experience, which is normally not available to this population of people. So some of those things is what we're driving us forward with, while keeping that we offer I think we are one of the first few very strong proponents of loyalty and rewards for our customers, right? In the insurance space, somebody presenting and providing loyalty rewards is not very common currently in the insurance space. So we're doing that from their first interaction. Hey, you come get a quote with us, buy a policy with us, you can immediately go take your points and cash. We're not saying, hey, stay with us for 6 years so you can get some rewards back. Immediate action, and consumers appreciate that, right? They're asking for, hey, more and more and more, and they give us great feedback. We take that feedback seriously, and we collecting feedback is one thing. Everybody talks about voice of the customer, but now what do you do with that feedback? So we have a mechanism where we take feedback from online, from our Google reviews, from our stores, walk-in customers. Now we have a pathway to channel that back into all the initiatives we do. So those are some of the things that I think we're getting to do pretty well, and looking at other big players as well. It makes sense that this is the good path forward.
Thank you very much. And now you're already sharing some example to point that out. Perhaps do you have a specific example that you want to share from an insurer excelling in digital experiences and what we can learn from them?
So I'll go back to Progressive, right? Progressive used to not be as, I shouldn't say they have not used to be. Progressive now has stepped up their digital game quite a bit. If you look at Progressive ads, the quality of ads and how they do what they do has significantly elevated them in the digital space. I'm a fan, and I'm a competitor also, but I love what they do. And Progressive is a step above a lot of the other digital insurers that do quite a bit of things.
Thank you very much for sharing these interesting insights. We are coming to an end of this discussion, but before I ask the usual question about the future, one question that always popped to my mind, and I know that perhaps it's not your field, however, it's extremely interesting. Now AI is everywhere, and AI is supporting companies, to provide experiences to the customer, supporting the employees to do the servicing. but AI is also used by us consumers. How is the insurance industry changing, or how is going to tackle all these new technologies that are popping up, like AI that is taking decision? Who is then responsible? Can we insure an AI for in the future for the decision that they take?
I think yes and no, right? AI is here to stay, right? AI is not, this is the fourth, fifth generation of AI. The way that I would say AI is going to be useful is it makes our life easier. It's going to make things more efficient. There are functions that we are doing in the insurance industry that can be simplified by the use of AI. AI is not going to replace human beings. It's going to be at a point where the technology is going to continue to improve, and we have to embrace it. There is no question about that, right? The more we embrace it, the more we take advantage of the strengths of AI. We are doing lots of that, right? We're doing automation of our underwriting using AI. We are doing automatic phone call validation, sentiment analysis, conversational AI texting with customers. So all that is becoming now table stakes. If you don't use the technology, you're going to be left behind doing all of this manually. So I think AI is here to stay. It's going to play a part. It's up to the companies to figure out how to use it best to serve its customers. And how do you connect with the customers is still the key for me, right? It's the emotion of the customer that is important, and how you engage with that customer is important, whether it's human or inhuman.
Thank you very much. And now, really fast forward in 10 years from now, we are back on the CX Goalkeeper podcast. What we're discussing about?
I think insurance starts with the customer. And in the next, I don't know, 10, 15 years, 12 years, there is going to be no bigger disruptor than our digital native customer, right? Where it's an individual, small business, large business, whoever it is. Insurance agencies insurance carriers have to become digitally savvy, because customers are going to get digitally savvy. So they're going to want that digital experience. They are going to want, their expectation is, again, I go back to Netflix and Starbucks and Amazon. Their expectation is going to go higher and higher in the next 10 years. So digital savvy customers, how do insurance companies keep up with those customers, and how can they offer the best services to match that customer expectation?
Thank you very much. And what's the best way to contact you?
LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm always active, and that's the best way to reach me.
Thank you. And for the audience, you will find also this information in the contact notes. And now it's the last question. Is Rajesh golden nugget? It's something we discussed or something new to leave the audience with?
My golden nugget revolves around a lot of the things that I've been talking about. If I have to summarize it in one word, a few words statement, is take the transaction out of the interaction, right? If the customer feels like you're transacting with them, they're not going to remember that. If your interaction is genuine, you understand the customer, you engage with the customer's emotion, I think the customer will remember more of this and understand what you do, how you do. So my leave behind is take the transaction out of the interaction.
Thank you very much. Rajesh, thank you very much for being on the CX Goalkeeper podcast. Thank you for interacting with me and interacting with the audience, because we were feeling the emotion that you were giving to us, your passion for this topic. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Greg.
Rajesh, please stay with me. To the audience for today, it's everything. Feel free to contact me or contact Rajesh for any question you have. Feedback is a gift. Please share that with us. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. If you enjoyed this episode, please share the word of mouth. Subscribe it, share it. Until the next episode, please don't forget, we are not in a B2B or B2C business. We are in a human-to-human environment. Thank you.